Alright, I guess it's going to be a do-over. I just shot a video of me taking the oil pump off here and it didn't. Camera shut off for whatever reason. I don't know. Mostly about to see what the hell I'm doing or something. But it timed out and that was that. Got plenty of battery. Anyway, that's your oil pump right there. Uh, if you look on there, you see that little divot right there at the front. That's an extra return to suck oil out of the gear case. This pump is, I don't remember when they changed it. It was 90, maybe 2000, maybe 98, 99. This has extra, the return gears are a little bit bigger, or quite a bit larger to suck more oil out of the bottom end. I think the feed rate might be the same. I can't remember really. But when you're taking it out, your mounting screws are going to be the outer front, which is this one, and the inner rear, which is that one. So the pump's sitting in there like that. You're going to take out this screw and that screw. They changed these screws here, which just mount the cap here, this one and that one. Used to be, they were used all the same screws on the 84 to whenever they changed it. 99, 97, 98, maybe somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. But that's that. That's your oil pump drive gear. That one's actually in pretty damn good shape for having almost 70,000 miles on it. I mean, it's got virtually no wear whatsoever, which is a good sign. The only thing holding this on here is clamp load between the pinion and oil pump drive gear. So the torque that Harley gives on the pinion nut is ridiculously low. It's like 35, 40 pounds, maybe 55, somewhere. I can't remember. It's low. I know I think it's 35, and I used to torque them to 50 and then went up to 70, 75, 80 pounds on torquing the pinion nut with red Loctite. You probably won't be able to see that, but that little key right there, it's kind of got two little, let's call it a T key. It's got two little nubs that stick out, and that's the only thing that hold this pinion. If you look right here where that cutout is, that's all the amount that T key holds, and the key is only, that thick, 1/8 of an inch thick, if that. So that really ain't holding nothing. That's just a locating key to make sure the timing's right. So clamp load. On the earlier ones, the 90 and earlier, they used a splined pinion shaft, which was replaceable. It's part of the flywheel. You pull back then they used a 5-piece flywheel or a 5-piece crank. You had a sprocket shaft that was separate, a pinion shaft that was separate, your two flywheels, and then the crank pin. That makes it a 5-piece. These are 91 later forged cranks, and they're the reason they did it is quite a bit cheaper. Doesn't take as much time to machine, and you're not keeping an extra sprocket shaft laying around. They just are a little bit trickier to set up. I hear a lot of guys talking they have a tick, and they do, and they blame it on rocker arms or whatever else. I could say that most of the tick you get is going to be from pinion gear fit. I can't remember how many they got on Sportsters. It's quite a bit of different gears because you got 4-cam gears that are fed up, and then you got your pinion gear, which is I think 5, 6, 7 different sizes, and they're color coded as far as what gear it is. So if you put aftermarket cams in there, you need to check your gear fitment. And Harley gives some goofy way of measuring these things with some kind of 109 pins or 106 pins or whatever. And you can get them close with those, but it still ain't right. It's best to hand feel them. So if you take your number 2 cam and stick a bolt in the end of it and kind of feel it, it's definitely a feel thing. You're going to roll the crank over, feel it, roll it a little bit, probably in 4 or 5 places, and feel it for tight spots, or if it's really loose, you can rock the cam back and forth. And you need to do that with all 4 cams to see if you got a tight fit. If they're too tight, you're going to get a whine, pretty bad whine. Too loose, you're going to get a tick that you swear you got a bad lifter or rocker arms loose or something, and you'll go through the whole thing, and all it is your cam gear fitment's wrong. So you need to check those pretty good. And like I said, it's a feel thing. Been doing them a long time, and had bikes come in that just ticking away like crazy. And even aftermarket stuff, not so much on Sportsters, but on big twins, you'll get some cams that you put in there, like Evo stuff and earlier, that have a whine and a tick at the same time. Because the aftermarket cam gears aren't exactly straight. You can feel it. You put it in there, and you slide the cam back and forth, and this feels right in one spot. And then you roll it over a couple of teeth, and you can't move it because it's tight in that one spot. And you roll it a couple more, and it's really loose. And then you roll it a couple more, and it feels right again. So that's pretty much it for that. But that's it for getting the oil pump out. Now we'll clean these off. I'll replace that T key, and I'll split the pump apart just to check it out and see. If you noticed, I cut this. I cut that return line right there. This is return, the one that's up front at the top of the pump. That's the return line. Figure these hoses are 24, 25 years old, somewhere in there, and they're hard as a rock. Broke the clamp loose, couldn't get the hose off. And on this side, I just took the fitting off because it was same thing. Couldn't get the line off of it. They're dry rotted, hard as could be. So when I get to it, I'll clean this pump and disassemble it and get a new gasket for it and make sure we ain't got no trash that went through the pump anywhere. But that's it for the oil pump drive gear stuff. Maybe this video actually took.